Welcome to Frightmares, the series where real people share their most horrifying experiences. Join us as we bring these chilling stories back to life, one episode at a time. From encounters with malevolent spirits to unexplained phenomena, Frightmares delves into the darkest corners of human existence. Brace yourselves for true tales of terror that defy explanation. The following story is a true encounter sent to us by one of the viewers. My dad had just left for work after another intense fight between he and my mom. This house was already spooky enough. Okay, a little backstory here. A few years ago, my mom and dad moved us into a travel trailer out back so they could restore this old farmhouse, and it was built in like the 1800s. The first day I ever walked in that house, it gave me a bad feeling. A horrific feeling. I didn't like the darkness and gloominess that came over me like a wave every time I went in my bedroom. Every time I walked up the stairs. One night, while I was changing clothes, I opened the closet door in my bedroom and saw what looked like a human bone. It scared me enough to where I didn't like opening that closet ever again. Anyway, this night was bad. When my mom and dad fought, it stained the air. It gave it a heavy, angry feeling for hours. There had been many nights. A lot of nights, I remember trying to go to bed after my mom and dad had it out, and weird things would happen. I would hear noises that I couldn't explain, coming from places that I couldn't explain. We had a long, old wooden staircase that you had to walk up and turn a corner, left, and then walk to another door just to get to my bedroom. On this night, I was tired. I was actually exhausted. It wasn't late, and my mom and brother were still watching TV, so I told them I was tired. I was going to bed. I couldn't shake the feeling like every step I took between the living room and my room, somebody was following me. It was one of those moments where you keep looking behind you to see if something's there. Each step I took caused me to freeze momentarily and peek over my shoulder. Even with all the lights on, the staircase was still dimly lit at best. The steps would creak quietly with each step I took, which made it that much scarier to go upstairs alone. I finally made it to my room and began to settle in. I was so tired, but I couldn't fall asleep, so I decided to grab a book from my nightstand. Just as I made the decision and prepared to turn and get a book, I heard a whisper come from the staircase outside my room. Odd, I thought, because I hadn't heard any footsteps before the whisper, which meant no one had walked up the stairs. I ignored it, and I reached over and got my book. Just as I was about to open the book, I heard a creak. Then immediately, another creak. Then one more. By the last creak, I was frozen, and my senses started telling me that, well, my mom or my brother was sneaking up the stairs to scare me or surprise me. They had to be. So I whispered loudly, "Mom! Cliff! Mom!" The last loud whisper was loud enough that I heard it whisper out in the hall and echo, so I know whoever was on the stairs heard me. 2 minutes went by, and there was complete silence. I tried to refocus on the book I wanted to read and started reading the first page. But before I could get to the second paragraph, I heard a rush of footsteps at the top of the staircase coming down the hall toward my room. My door was open, and I wanted so badly to close it, but the hairs on my arm were standing straight up, and I was frozen in fear. I knew that someone had to be playing a joke on me. At least I hoped that's what was happening. I could feel someone standing outside of my room, but it was completely silent. I was staying so still and quiet that I could hear my heart beating in my chest. In my silence, I remember telling myself, "This isn't real. Your mind is playing tricks on you." And at that very moment, I heard breathing immediately on the outside of my open door. I was shaking in panic and didn't know what to do. I pulled the covers up and I kept my eyes looking toward the door. I had a lamp dimly lit so I could still see a little bit. At the exact moment that I looked to my left at the nightstand to get a flashlight, in the corner of my eye, I saw someone rush in my room and get down at the foot of my bed. Not only did I see them, I felt the bump when they knelt down out of sight at the end of my bed. The weird thing is, I felt a horrible presence, and I saw a red glow in my room when the figure entered. There was no doubt in my mind that that is exactly what I saw. My mind immediately took over and tried to be sensible. "Who is it?" I said. I got louder. "I know someone's there." "Cliff. Mom. Please stop." My body took over, and I quickly leaped out of my bed and ran as fast as I could down the stairs without once thinking to look back. I was in absolute shock and horror to find that my mom and my brother were still both sitting there in the living room watching TV. No one else was in the house. I had no idea what happened. I immediately told my mom and she giggled. "There's no one in your room," she said. She marched upstairs and looked everywhere to comfort me. Nothing. She found absolutely nothing. To this day, I believe there was a malevolent spirit that dwelled in that house, and it was stirred up every time that there was horrible conflict. I remember fights so bad that we had to leave in the middle of the night. I don't know who lives there now, but I know I don't ever want anything to do with that house again. Thank you for watching. Join us again next time for another horrifying adventure. Remember to subscribe, like the video, share, and comment. Tell us what you were afraid of. We'll see you next time.